back to my channel. This is Paulette. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in and getting all these good vibes. Don't forget to share and subscribe. Today we are going to be talking about work that you can do in Turkey. Like most of the time, there is like the legal work, the people who come with the embassies, but then I'm just going to be talking about what you can do on the side as a student or someone who is doing something else. So part-time jobs that you can do. The first one is very obvious, English teaching. English teaching has been there for a really long time and it's becoming even more popular. When I first came, which was like 7 years ago, most Turkish people could not speak English or had not practiced enough English to be able to be confident enough to speak. But then with time, I have noticed that English speaking is like a business. This is a booming business. Foreign languages is a booming business in Turkey. And English teachers are needed. Do you need a certificate? No, especially if you come from an African country or countries that speak English as their first language. Now, if you want to increase your confidence or if you want to be paid better, then you need to go and you get a certificate. The most common certificate that people get is the TEFL, Teaching English to Foreign Learners. And I got it. I think you can get it too. It's a pretty straightforward course. It's not very difficult. And with this certificate, you can get an adult job or a teaching job for younger students. It makes it easier for you to negotiate your salary. It makes it easier for you to be confident enough to say that, okay, yeah, I can do this job. Now, how to get an English teaching job? First of all, there is Indeed.com. Indeed.com is a website where they post jobs and you can narrow it down to just English teaching. You can also go physically into Kizilay or into places and just give your CV. That's how I got my first job, my first teaching job. It was the summer. My second summer in Turkey, I did not go home. I printed out my CV and I went into Kizilay and I gave my CV to every single school in Kizilay. That opened so many doors. I got 3 jobs and I was saving to move out into a house, and it made it really possible to move into a house. What I also noticed is that when you give your CV to one school, most of them share the CVs out, especially if one school needs a teacher and they do not have, so they call another school and the school gives them contacts. So it's really, really easy, and I find this easier than the other methods because they have your CV in hand. And if you're an aggressive person, this is a very easy thing to do. Just go in, ask to speak to the manager, give the manager your CV. You might get it at that point, you might not get it, but then I think it's worth a try. The third way is to register on ozeldersnokta.com. I'm going to put all the websites down in the description box. Ozeldersnokta.com is where you can find anything and everything. You can find a swimming teacher, you can find a speaking teacher, you can find a babysitter, everything. So you register yourself, and registering costs you nothing. Once you register, most of the time the students are the ones who text you or they call you and you set up a class. Now, I have one recommendation. I used to do this and I stopped doing it. Once you get a student texting you, most of them ask you to give them a trial class. I used to be so naive and I used to give trial classes, but I don't give trial classes anymore because I figured out 1 hour of my time or my life is very important. And if a student wants a trial class, they will pay for that trial class before they actually decide that they want to continue with the class. The other way to do this is, okay, I'm going to talk about the English teaching in length because it's what I've been doing and what I have done for a really long time. I'm going to give you the tricks in the next video. Yeah, that's something that I need to remember to do. So, English teaching. The second one is trade, import and export. I find it's really difficult, but then I know that there are people who are doing import and export who are foreigners, especially Africans. You know that Turkey is really good with clothes, so you open a website and you start sending people back home things, and they ask for things. That actually leads to the third one, which is the personal shopper. You can actually be a really good personal shopper in Turkey. Once you have stayed here long enough, you know the tricks and you know where to look for things and where to go to actually get those things. The best place to do personal shopping is in Istanbul, but then, like I said, I have stayed in Turkey for long enough to know that I can go to Istanbul or I can go to Konya if I want bags. So just talk to people around, listen to what they're saying. That's the easiest way to know your way around and to know what to trade in and how to trade in. As a personal shopper, instead of using DHL, again, if you're new here, DHL would be the first thing that comes into your mind. But then if you have been here for a long time, you'll know that there are shipping companies that send things back home, and it's actually faster than DHL and much cheaper. Sending stuff to Kenya, for example, is around $7-8 a kilo, and you cannot send anything less than 10 kilos. If you're trading and if you're a personal shopper, that's something that you can do, or you can send stuff home once a month. If you live in a place like Kenya where, you know, this the middle class or girls like to dress up and people like to, you know, dress up and look nice, that's a really good idea for a business or a part-time job. The fourth one would be babysitting. Babysitting is, you know, you're taking care of a child. I noticed that this has a very bad connotation back home. But then listen, when you're in a foreign country, you've got to do what you've got to do. You've got to do what you've got to do to survive. And for me, I'm the kind of person who can do anything. If I'm looking for a job and you tell me, yo, come and wash the plates, I will come and I will gladly wash the plates, because oh my goodness, that money is for me. I'm not ashamed of my hustle. And I think babysitting is actually one of the, you know, prime jobs that you can get as a part-time or as a foreigner in Turkey. Most of them, just so you know, pay in dollars. They pay really well. They pay more than minimum wage, because in Turkey, most places actually pay minimum wage and above. And you have 1 day of break. I think I will talk about all these jobs in details, like I'll break it down. But then just to give you a background, yeah, you come as a babysitter. How do you get these jobs? There's so many, even on Indeed.com, you can get a job as a babysitter when you're back home. Then they get you here and they give you a place to stay. So basically, you're not going to be a house help. There's someone else doing that. What you're going to be doing is taking care of the new baby or the kids. You're going to be helping them with homework. You're going to be driving them to school or bringing them back. That's your job. You do not take care of the house. You do not wash. You do not clean. You do not cook. And that's something that you need to have as a boundary when you get hired. You should know what they expect from you. But from my own experience, no one asks you to cook, no one asks you to clean, because they usually have someone else who does that. The fifth one would be do your own thing. When I say, what I mean by do your own thing is like, when I first came here, we did not know what to do to survive. You know, we did not know what to do as part-time jobs. But then of late, we have so many bands coming up. We have the High Life band, and it's full African band. And they're getting pretty popular. They have so much going on right now. And we have so many. I know Aderoke, one of my friends who cooks cakes, and professionally actually, and she has her own business going out of her own house. I know people who are event organizers, makeup artists. So you know yourself, you know what you can do best. Be creative and actually open something. There's a lot of market for these things, especially for foreigners right now. I've realized the market is opening up, and Turkish people are becoming even more open to foreigners and foreign things. There is an African restaurant. That's not something that we had when we first came here. There are African or foreign bars. That's not something that we had when we got here. So if you feel like you are a creative or you have something in mind, start it off. The worst that can happen is you fail. I think we are on the sixth one. The sixth one is open your own business legitimately. Like, I know Swale is doing a school. Like, Swale has opened an English and Turkish Tomer, a school, and it's a legal business. This is not something, again, that we could do when we first came. The rules were so different back then, and I am so proud of people who are actually taking the step and doing all this. And the last one, last but not least, is I know so many people who have come in specifically to do hair. This is becoming like a booming business in Turkey. Like, if you can do hair, or if you can learn how to do hair, it doesn't matter how you do it. You will learn from other people. Turkish girls or Turkish women are becoming a little bit more open to, and they actually find it cool. They find the rasta and the braids cool. So most people are doing this. And you cannot imagine how much money the braiders charge. It's so much money. I think there's so much money in it. Once you develop yourself and you have customers who are coming back, this is like a really, really good idea for a business. That's it. If you have any other ideas of how we can become part-time business owners, or what we can do part-time to make ends meet in Turkey, please leave it in the comments so that we can give other ideas to people who are coming in and people who've been here, who feel like life is a little bit difficult and they're trying to make ends meet, and I think it's possible. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and share all this positivity. Okay, Mwah. Bye.